It's called LOL Mets. So after this incident, if you will, with Jorge Lopez occurred, and again, whether fair or not, the Mets are being made fun of. They are being LOL, Tiki, as some say. So it doesn't matter if it's worthy or not. It's an LOL Met moment. So I've decided to compile the definitive list of the biggest and most embarrassing LOL moments of the last 20-plus years. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's start off with the Brody Van Wagenen hot microphone from 2020. As you may recall, the New York Mets and the Miami Marlins were not going to play a game. It was during the midst of not just COVID, but the George Floyd protests. And so the Mets weren't going to play. And they didn't play that game that night. And Brody Van Wagenen, trying to figure out what to do, was caught on a hot mic questioning Rob Manfred's leadership skills. They're not playing, but that's Rob's instinct. And Rob, exactly what you're talking about at a leadership level, doesn't get it. He just doesn't get it. And it goes on. But the kicker to all this is that when he released a statement apologizing, he said, I didn't mean that about Rob Manfred. I meant that about Jeff Wilpon.
What?
So it was like, okay, pick your poison there, Brody. And it was one of those things where Brody's sentiment may have been something we all agreed with.
Yes,
but
they definitely didn't get it.
But it didn't matter because it was just another moment of, here we are making fun of the New York Mets, a place we're very familiar with. That was back in 2020. You remember that one, right, T? That was a good one. How about the time Jason Vargas and Mickey Callaway challenged a beat reporter to a fist fight after the New York Mets lost to the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field?
Oh, how did that one go?
How'd that one go? Oh, that was amazing. I think Tim Healy, who still covers the Mets, and I'm sure is completely innocent on this, especially when you look at the culprits. Mickey, let me send you awkward text messages. I'm a disgusting human being, Callaway. And Jason... how do I insult Jason Vargas other than talking about that he looks like an alien? I shouldn't say that. I'll leave that one alone. But, yeah, they both challenged Tim Healy to a fist fight. That's an LOL Mets moment.
But didn't actually fight.
They actually didn't fight. And the following day, Mickey Callaway apologized. How about the time Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, punched his father-in-law in the Mets locker room and then got arrested? Oh, yeah, you giving us a laugh track there, Sean?
That's good. I forgot about that.
Yeah. His father-in-law. Ever punch your father-in-law?
No.
Ever
desire.
Ever do it in a football locker room?
No. Why?
I think
Was it ever determined?
I kind of forgot. It was a decade ago. I think there was good reason. I think he was ripping off Frankie's credit cards. So he, I think, ended up having a right to be really pissed off.
Oh, yeah, that's worth it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you say, no problem, Frankie.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Your father-in-law is stealing money from you?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you deserve to get punched.
All right. How about this LOL moments? When Yoenis Cespedes got hurt by being run over by a wild boar at his ranch.
So he says.
Now, we have another Yoenis Cespedes moment. How about him just completely disappearing from the New York Mets in the midst of the 2020 season? Just deciding, yeah, I'm out. I'm going to go home now. So we got a dueling Yoenis Cespedes LOL Mets. How about Carlos Beltran being fired before he ever managed a game? Because God forbid the Mets show guts and tell Rob Manfred, we own the Mets, you don't. We want him to be our manager. They could have done that. They decided not to, and that presented us with Luis Rojas. That was a fun year and a half.
Let's go, Mets!
How about Willie Randolph being fired at 3:14 a.m.? Oh, that was a classic one. I was out in California for that one. Me, Beningo, and Giannotti. That's right. I'll never forget Joe and his tighty whities telling G and I, bro, you're not gonna, they fired Willie.
Thank God for drugs.
Can you believe this one? But ladies and gentlemen, I present to you number one. The rest of this was just a list. This is number one. And I want to set it up, and we brought audio, because I'm not sure if you remember this, Tiki.
When was it?
This was, I'm going to go with 07 or 08.
No, I definitely wasn't, because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, you were checked out, man. You just retired. You're feeling good.
Getting ready to start at the Today Show. There's so much other stuff going on.
Yeah, you didn't want to deal with this. So there was a story about Tony Bernazard, who worked in the Mets organization.
What?
Tony Bernazard worked in the Mets organization, and he was accused of doing a lot of, like, really screwy things. One rumor was that like he appealed to Carlos Delgado as a free agent by doing things that made Carlos feel uncomfortable. Another thing was he would openly fight with star players like Johan Santana. And then the other story was he would take his shirt off and yell at minor league baseball players. And the shirt coming off and yelling at minor league baseball players is what became the scandal. And so Omar Minaya was doing a press conference talking about the Tony Bernazard situation and decided in the middle of it.
Tony Bernazard is a reporter?
No. Tony Bernazard worked in the Met front office.
Okay, got it.
So he was like a below Omar Minaya kind of guy.
Got it.
It was 2009. Okay.
July 28th, 2009.
I remember being on the air with Joe as this was happening. And so he was in the Met organization. And yeah, the taking the shirt off and challenging the minor leaguers, that's the one that became the quote-unquote scandal.
Right. Was he jacked?
No, he was actually a tiny little man, which kind of made it funny, in my opinion. It's like me taking my shirt off and, like, challenging people around here. Imagine that. I just take my shirt off and I'm like, Al Dukes, work harder. Like, he would laugh, probably. So Omar Minaya is having a press conference. He is discussing the situation. And he decides to go after Met beat reporter Adam Rubin and basically accuse him of making up the story because Adam Rubin, as a beat reporter, wants a job as a general manager in Major League Baseball. Ladies and gentlemen, we bring you back to 2009, the most awkward press conference in the history of sports.
I had to kind of tell myself, wow, these things are coming out. And I say this because coming from Adam Rubin, okay, and Adam, you got to understand this. Adam, for the past couple of years, has lobbied for a player development position. He has lobbied myself. He has lobbied Tony. So when these things came out, I was kind of a little bit, I had to think about it. And I was a little bit, somewhat kind of, we got to find out about this. We really have to do a thorough investigation of this.
Is what you're alleging that I tried to tear Tony down so I could take his job? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying was that I know that when you wrote the reports, but I am saying that in the past you have lobbied for a player for a job.
If I were interested in working in player development somewhere in the major leagues at some point in my life, how did that impact this situation at all?
I said because when the reports came out, a lot of these things were crossed. So I said, who's writing these reports? And I said, okay, who's writing the reports? But in the back of my mind, Adam, you have told me, you have told other people in the front office that you want to work for player development in the front office.
So what you're alleging is the only conclusion I could draw from that is that you're trying to allege that I tried to tear everyone down so I could take their position. Is that what you're saying?
Adam, I'm saying that's what I thought.
To say that.
Oh, my God. I feel uncomfortable listening to it again. Like, that's at a press conference. That's in front of...
What is Adam Rubin doing now?
I don't know. I'm sure he's doing wonderful. But he's not a general manager of a baseball team. I can tell you that right now. But that was, to me, the definitive LOL Met moment. Because you had a general manager come unhinged at a beat reporter. And they're arguing in front of us. It felt like parents arguing in front of their kids. Because I'm like, what the hell's going on? Brian Costello, who does a great job covering the New York Jets, Brian Costello was on the beat that day. He just texted me, what a day.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was, Brian. I mean, what a day for all of us.
That's so random.
Yeah. That's LOL Mets. That's LOL Mets. Now,
I remember when it happened, I couldn't, even for the Mets standards, I'm like, I cannot believe this is happening right now. And when you watch it too, which obviously you can't do on the radio, Ruben's reaction when he first said it was like that WTF. He's like, is this guy really calling me out for this?
Yeah, because he was like stunned, like, I didn't know this is where it was going.
Right.
And so, now notice everything on this list off the field. Okay, we're not doing on the field stuff. That one's too obvious. It's the off the field LOL Mets. And quite frankly, all of the things that we included on this definitive LOL Mets list, far more embarrassing than what happened last night.
Absolutely. Can I give 3 quick LOL ones, Evan?
Of course.
That perhaps you forgot?
Yes.
Duaner Sanchez, taxi accident. He didn't get hurt really badly. It's just ridiculous he gets hurt like that. Rat and Raccoon, because we know that didn't happen between McNeil and Lindor. And how about Mr. Met flipping off fans?
Yeah.
The mascot flips everybody off.
Now, let me address all 3 of those, because those are 3 great examples. The Duaner Sanchez, he got into a taxi accident because he needed a Dominican food at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's a true story. And by the way, Duaner was being responsible. It's not like he drove himself. He took a taxi. And I think he figured, I'm not going to get into a car accident and injure myself for the rest of the season. So that was more unfortunate circumstances than it was LOL, but I totally get that. The Rat Raccoon thing, which is still relevant to this day because it involves Francisco Lindor and Jeff McNeil.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, because the Mets won that game. It was a Friday night. I remember thinking, this is going to be the rally cry, and this is going to be a good thing. So I didn't look at it as LOL at the moment. I think it became LOL when things went bad. It became LOL even now when we talk about McNeil and Lindor and who should be on this team moving forward.
Yeah,
I think we refer back to it as an LOL moment.
And
I didn't feel that way in the
car for the batting title, which became a story for an entire season.
Right.
Right? Of course. That's what made it LOL.
No doubt. Mr. Met giving the bird. I kind of understand it. I mean, if you're wearing a mascot suit for 3.5 hours.
No, but come on. Mr. Met, he pulled a bad Santa. That guy's basically drinking Jack Daniels, flipping off the fans. That's LOL. People still have that as their profile picture. It's ridiculous.
I know, but it was kind of like, I don't take it as LOL. I take it as, you're damn right. You want to mess with me? Here's a gif of Mr. Met giving you the middle finger. You know what I mean? Like, that one doesn't bother me as much.
By the way, none of these actually bother me. You have to laugh because, like you said, every year or two we are treated not only to, like, a 90-loss season, but LOL Met moments. It wouldn't be the Mets without LOL.
And speaking of LOL moments, coming up today at exactly 3:45, the world premiere for the first time in 2 weeks of a brand new Evan and Tiki original song entitled LOL Mets. So we do have an LOL Mets song we will debut coming up at 3:45. Set your clocks. If you miss it, you can always rewind on the Odyssey app. But I promise you this, we're only playing it once. All right? That's the thing with the music. We play it once, and then it disappears into the ethos. So if you didn't hear the Joel Embiid's Dirty song from a month ago, I'm sorry. Unless we do some kind of special where we replay the songs, it's gone. It's disappeared. That one stays. That one stays. You want to know why? Because it's relevant.
Now, stop. I want to clap it up for Omar Minaya, by the way. Adam Rubin currently running a professional organization.
Oh, nice. Which one?
Well, it's the Birmingham Bulls of the SPHL, but he is a part owner / doing everything it seems to run that team.
It's a step in the right direction.
That's what he's doing.
Well, by the way, doesn't Mr. Met only have 4 fingers?
So what's the middle finger?
There isn't one.
I think the 2 middle ones go together in the glove, like Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, but there's only 4 fingers.
How do you give a middle finger if you only have 4 fingers?
It's a middle 2 fingers.
Can you do me a favor? Can you analyze the picture of Mr. Met giving a middle finger?
I can't see his other fingers, but I can see other pictures of Mr. Met. He only has 4 fingers.
But doesn't it look like the middle finger when he holds his finger up?
Of course it does.
So there you go. It's a middle finger.
He only has 4 fingers, so how could he actually be giving the middle finger?
The best part of Mr. Met.
I'm just being Mr. Literal right now.
No, I get you. The best part of Mr. Met with the middle finger is the smile on his face.
The perpetual smile.
The perpetual smile that never goes away is probably my favorite part.